We're back after them, everybody. It's the evening of October 16th, and we're heading to the Pennsylvania Lease for the first time all year. We're gonna get in there, and I did some scouting last week in there and set some cameras up and found a white oak that was dropping acorns like you wouldn't believe. And there's been a whole slew of big mature does that have been coming to that white oak every night. So we're gonna sneak down in there, and I'm just gonna sit on the ground with a crossbow. I'm gonna set up on the downwind side of that oak tree, and we're gonna try to take out a big doe tonight and get that Pennsylvania doe tag filled. And then we'll be focusing on big mature buck over there eventually, once one shows up, hopefully. I'm sure one will. That woods is a great rut woods. There's not much drought most of the rest of the year, but you know, when the rut comes around, bucks tend to find the woods, so not too worried about that. But I'm excited to get in there and set up and see if we can't tag ourselves a big doe under that white oak tonight. It'll be kind of a different type of hunting, sitting down and right on the forest floor with a crossbow. Probably get like 30 yards from the base of that white oak. I think would be a good distance where I have a little bit of room to move around with the video camera and stuff. So, and then I'm gonna have a long drag to get that thing out of there from where this oak tree is. So I brought a rope with me, and we're not dragging it up over the hill. We're just gonna drag it down the hill and then out that way, and then I can walk around and go get my truck and come around the backside. So Burn Man would normally be able to help me, but he's off to Eldora to watch the dirt track racing all weekend, so I'm without him. But we'll see if we can draw blood and get in and out of there like a Navy SEAL. Man, the woods doesn't get much prettier than this. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, there is a doe and a few fawns bedded right there that just left. Well, we got a straight out of the north wind, and we got decent wind cover getting in here. I think we're just gonna get on we're gonna go right to that white oak and get on the downwind side of it and settle right in next to a big tree, find a little cover, clear out the leaves, and plop down. Okay, I found a spot that I like. That oak tree dropping all the acorns is right down there. There's a old logging path right there. I think if I get snuggled right up in here, it's right where I want to be. Okay, there we go. There's my little blind. This is perfect. Now I just gotta get my camera set up on this tree, and we're gonna be in business. Well, I'm all set up. Got a nice little blind here I made out of the foliage. And that camera's at about, I would say 28 yards where all those white oak acorns are dropping. But I think my shot will be more like 25 on this logging road right here. We have a wind coming out of the north. So the wind's kind of coming like this, actually going up the hill. I wouldn't doubt some deer come from over here. As long as our wind stays up, we should be fine. But it's actually kind of fun doing this. I haven't hunted like this since I was, you know, really little. And at that point, I was hunting with a ancient high country bow. It was made in like 1997 with some fat old aluminum arrows. That was when I was like 14. Well, let's get settled in. I've got some Lunchables. We'll see what happens. Already got a bunch of ticks all over me. I hate ticks. I think it's going to be kind of inevitable though in this scenario when I'm sitting on the ground. You know what that means? I'm going to have Kaylee do a thorough tick check tonight. Well, as you guys saw, I got picked out by that big doe. Everything was working perfectly as planned. They came right up out of the creek bottom, heading right for the white oak tree. Got to the white oak, and she was kind of behind some brush and some twigs there, and I was trying to move the camera to get it into focus on her. And my little blind that I built, I didn't have enough cover up top where the camera was, and when I was put my hand up to move that camera, she clocked, bam, right on me. And from that point on, she couldn't win me. There's no way that she'd catch my wind. My wind was going away from her. But she was locked onto me, and I couldn't get a shot. There's too many twigs and too much stuff right in the way for me to get a shot at her with a crossbow. And she got squirrely and ran to about 45 yards and stood there, and then she ended up taking off. And then guess what she did? She proceeded to stand about 100 yards away from me and blow 50 times. So every deer in the Pennsylvania woods knew I was there. And that was a wrap. Never saw another deer. Did you see any deer tonight, babe?
Yeah, actually there was a doe below the house. Excuse you, mister.
Was there?
Excuse you.
Until next time, take it easy, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is October 17th, and we're sitting right over the fence gap. Right out here in the food plot, we have about 2 acres of harvest salad planted, and then there's row corn as a buffer between the road and the plot to act as a screen. There's been quite a few deer that have been coming through here on a regular basis. If a big doe comes through and offers me a pretty clean shot, we'll let her have it. I've got my lift with me today. After my recurve stunt the other day, I've got to get a little more confidence with it and shoot it more before I take it back out. The other thing was that I shot those broadheads, those shark tooth broadheads, and it was weird, like 1 out of every 3 shots would fly funky. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but I'm going to shoot different broadheads. It's like they were planing or something. They just weren't flying right every time. Got a good frost this morning. Deer starting to move around a little bit more. We'll see what happens.
I think I'm gonna call it quits on this morning's hunt. I saw 4 or 5 deer came in behind me and they were acting pretty cautious and squirrely. They didn't wanna, we're supposed to have a wind straight out of the south, which would be going straight that way. They're straight behind me, which means there's no way they should have been able to smell me. But the problem is there was literally no wind, and when there's no wind, your scent just kind of drops to the ground and just sits. It kind of contaminates the whole area, especially in these pines right here. So that's what happened. You know, there was no wind whatsoever, and it caused there to be a problem for me with that big doe. She knew something wasn't right, and they milled around back here for quite a while, and then they just kind of moseyed back into the swamp. So no bucks though this morning. We're gonna head down and head back to the house, and we'll be back after them this evening.